Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here at the Illinois Firearms Association. If you're a gun owner in House District 47, these are communities like Carroll Stream, Wheaton, Warrenville, and Winfield, take a moment to watch this brief video as we break down Representative Amy Grant versus her challenger, Jackie Williamson, when it comes to your right to keep and bear arms. Guys, everyone knows it's been a tough couple years in Illinois when it comes to the right to keep and bear arms. Pritzker has gone all in, passed one of the nation's worst assault weapon, heavy sarcasm intended there, assault weapons bans in the country. It's an ongoing battle in court to overturn that, but it's important for all of us to note that Pritzker is far from done. The agenda actually that's being stacked up right now in Springfield is going to make things much, much worse for all of us here in Illinois. So it's critical at election time, especially in swing seats like this, that gun voters get loud and send a message that we still stand for freedom, the Second Amendment, and public safety. Now, I cannot tell you guys who to vote for. What we can do, though, is give you guys the information you have to make your own most informed decision. In this case, we're going to begin with the incumbent, Representative Amy Grant. Now, Amy has been there since 2018, has a long record then of voting in favor of the Second Amendment by voting against J.B. Pritzker's relentless gun control agenda. So over the last couple of years, for example, Amy was a no vote on the ban on the sale of AR-15s and other similar firearms. That's a big thing to know because not every Republican was a no vote on that bill. So you might think it's assumed. That's not really the case anymore here in Illinois. Number two, Amy Grant was a no vote on the magazine limit because, after all, this only helps criminals. Criminals, they ignore the law, of course. They have all the firepower they want, and a magazine ban limit only limits the amount of protective options that you and I have as law-abiding citizens. It's insane, and Amy Grant was a no vote on that as well. She also was a no vote on red flag expansion laws. Everyone knows that Illinois has a red flag law. Someone can call you in. It could be an ex-spouse. They could say that you're dangerous. Your guns are gone before you've ever even been charged, let alone convicted of a crime. This law was expanded recently, and Amy Grant was a no vote on that effort. Number four, she was a no vote on the recent ban on homemade firearms. Everyone knows that hobbyists love to make firearms in the back of their shop, in the back of their garage, in the basement. It's been going on for a very long time. These are not the people who are raping, robbing, and murdering people in our cities all across the state. But, of course, Pritzker, in his efforts to demonize gun owners, has tried to ban this entire practice, and Amy Grant was a no vote on that bill. So every time Amy Grant has been tested, she has voted pro-gun, and you should know that in the district. That's the recap on Amy Grant, a very pro-gun record in Springfield. And that brings up her challenger, Jackie Williamson. The short version here is that Jackie is the exact opposite of Amy when it comes to your gun rights. She is a loud, vocal proponent of Pritzker's entire gun control agenda. It's all over her website. It's all over social media. She has the endorsement of various gun control groups. Her singular focus, the way it seems right now, is to destroy the Second Amendment in Illinois. What does that look like in particular? Well, number one, it includes a bill that we narrowly stopped last session, which is ammo registration. The bill number was HB 2293. And these commie statists want to make all of us register every round of ammo we buy with the government via our FOID card. This is already law right now in two states, New York and California, and Pritzker and all of his allies in Springfield want the exact same thing here. So they want to have you and I in their database. We already are via the various FOID cards and different permits, but now they want to register every single round of ammo you buy. We have a completely open border in this country. We are importing countless people via Chicago into our state who have no background checks, who've not been vetted for anything, who kill, rape, and rob our citizens. But no, Pritzker wants you, and he wants me, and every law-abiding gun owner to be registered and to have your ammo purchases recorded with the government. It's insane. Again, the bill number was House Bill 2293. Next, mental health exams for gun owners. Guys, this is coming. The bill was not filed this session, thank God, but we're being told by our sources it is coming hard next session. And what this bill would do is force us to submit to a mental health exam with a Pritzker-approved mental health professional, probably a pink-haired commie, or maybe it's going to be a 400-pound dude who thinks that he's a she, or who knows. And this professional will have to sit there and analyze and decide whether or not you are mentally sound enough to buy a gun. What does it take to be determined unfit? Well, who knows? But if you admit to, right, notice the sarcasm, if you admit to hating Pritzker's policies, if you admit to loving your founding fathers, if you admit that you believe that gun control is stupid and gets innocent people killed, if you admit to loving your right to keep and bear arms, you're probably going to fail this test. This is being pushed right now, again, in New York and in California, and it is coming here. And of course, if you do that, and if you fail it, then you cannot either get a FOID card, or it couldn't be extended, or whatever it is they decide to do with that. Again, think about this in real life. You have disgusting people in our society who, again, 400-pound dudes who pretend to be girls reading books to our 5-year-olds in kindergarten classes and in libraries. They don't get a mental health exam, but a law-abiding gun owner is going to be forced to submit to this garbage if this bill passes in Springfield. That's number 2 on Jackie Williams' to-do list. Number 3, Jackie Williamson wants all of us to submit to social media background checks or social media exams as a condition of buying a firearm. This bill was also recently filed in Springfield, House Bill 0888. And what this would do is force you and I to turn over the passwords to our social media accounts, or at a minimum, all of our social media platform handles, to the state patrol, to have them review your social media posts for hateful or other types of harmful speech, to see if you have merited their approval to be able to buy a gun in Illinois. Again, the bill was already filed. This is already law in other blue states right now, and it's a top ticket item for Pritzker and his allies next session. So again, the question is always the same. How do you define what is hateful? If I share a funny meme and it shows Pritzker being the size of a Greyhound bus, and it shows him with a bought and paid for by communist China on his forehead, is that hateful? I think it's hilarious. I think it's truthful. But is that hateful speech? I don't know. I know it's not how I intend it to be, but if you have a government investigator assigned to that, of course they're going to say it's hateful. What you make as a joke to mock the absurdity that has become Illinois thanks to the policies of Democratic control for so many years, these people will say is hateful speech that is designed to incite violence. That is exactly what they will do with this. Again, the bill number was HB 0888. And Jackie Williamson will certainly support that effort in Springfield. Number 4, this bill was filed just last session. It was in March. It was late in the session, relatively speaking. The bill number escapes me, but it creates a new layer of permitting to buy a handgun in Illinois. And the way it works is if you are in a city jurisdiction, if you're in the city jurisdiction anywhere in the state, your police chief would then have the opportunity, the requirement to grant you a permit to buy a firearm. So this is separate from the FOID card, separate from your carry permit. This is a third permit now that comes from the city police department. If you're in the country, I guess you get a pass. And the permit can be denied for literally, it's right there in the bill draft, any reason whatsoever, up to the discretion of the police chief. So even if you have all the rest of these permits, you could be denied this permit, and that means that any gun owner in a city, any population, any size, could be and would be denied the option to buy a gun. And if by some miracle, twist of providence, you are approved for this elusive permit, it auto expires in just 10 days. Guys, this is the agenda that is coming. This is what Jackie Williamson fully supports. She doesn't even try to hide it. And the reality about all of this is that this is no longer an academic conversation. The Second Amendment might have, back in the day, been largely esoteric. Those days are gone. The public safety impact, the public safety ramification of what Pritzker is doing is a real life thing. We see it in the news every single day. Lives lost, lives in tatters, women attacked, police attacked, innocent people running scared in a justice system that will not protect us. So even if you're not much of a gun person, if you don't own a firearm, if you don't carry a firearm, if you're like, yeah, it's just not my thing, realize if you care about public safety, this should be your thing, certainly on November 5. Guys, that's our recap in this race. Again, very shortly, Amy Grant, 100% record voting against Pritzker's agenda. Jackie Williamson, a radical, starry-eyed leftist who wants to destroy our gun rights here in Illinois. Guys, do me a favor, share it on social media, tag your friends, and get out there and vote pro-gun on November 5. And remind Pritzker and his allies that we still stand for freedom, public safety, and the Second Amendment here in Illinois.